we are moving into our percent unit. So our percent application will be dealing with things like proportions aligned with percents or parts, because percent is part of your whole, 100%, right? Before we move into the proportional application of percents, we need to remember what the heck a percent is. And well, first off, percent is really a rational number. See that lovely vocab word, rational number? Anything you can turn into a fraction. So today you're going to be able to convert rationals, fraction, decimal, percent, and compare rationals. So converting just means to change form. So you're going to go from one thing to the next thing. And all of this is pretty much reviewed. We've done it all this year. Percents is the new topic aligned with rational numbers. A lot of you already know. Maybe some of you need that little refresher though. So a fraction to a decimal, all you do is top divided by bottom. That's not very professional of me to say though, huh? Because I didn't even use math vocabulary words. Numerator divided by denominator. It just sounds so much catchier saying top divided by bottom, right? Percent to a decimal. Actually, let me go down the column, down to the percent to fraction. A percent is related to a ratio over 100, right? So a percent is the percent out of 100. And that's in your homework. It says a percent is a blank rate relating a number to 100. So a percent is something relating a number to 100. Well, it's a ratio, also known as fraction. But now we did unit 6, so ratio is a really good vocab word. To turn a decimal to a fraction, you do the number over the place value. I want to do one right now. I want to do one like this. 0.00002. There. That's a good one. And if I were to convert that to a fraction, I would do my number 2 over my place value. 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. So 100,000. And then you better remember how to simplify. So this would be 1 over 50,000. I forgot to do some examples, pretty much just the one above that. Percent to a fraction, always simplify. So if I wanted to turn 12% to a fraction, you would do 12 out of 100. Simplify them, divide them both by 4, 3/25. 3 out of 25. And just a reminder, you also can do this converting in your calculator. Where did mine go? Hold on, let me pull mine up. By this little, do you see that little button right there, the 2 arrows? Yeah. So if I went 12%, hold on, I just got to find my percent button. There it is, it's above that parenthesis. So 12%, and I push this little arrow, it just means convert it. So I hit enter, it converted it to a fraction for me. So that's really, really nice. And if I wanted to convert my fraction to a decimal, like 3/5, and then I wanted to convert it, you just hit that button. The arrow says, change that form, give me a different form, okay? It's all related to those rational numbers because there's 3 ways to write a rational number: a fraction, a decimal, and a percent. Okay, so a percent to a decimal, you move the decimal 2 spots. I'm going to just say move 2 to the left. 2 spots to the left. I'll show you what I mean by that. 4.5%. I need to move it 2 spots to the left. That would equal 0.045. Make sure to add those placeholder zeros when you need to. In a fraction, turn that to a percent. Top divided by bottom, 2 spots to the right. So we go top divided by bottom, and then you move it 2 spots to the right. For example, those of us, let's pretend that you got 4 out of 5 on your homework. Well, 4 divided by 5 is 0.8, which is 80%. And decimal 2%, 2 spots to the right. A lot of this you can just plug in your calculator though and do that converting, that little arrow to change forms. The logical sequence, here's how we do this, logically. We always start fraction, decimal, percent. That just is the natural flow of things. For example, if a student, like on the last test you took, let's say you got 25 out of 30, that's how I see it, 25 out of 30. And then if I wanted to see what your percent is, I go 25 divided by 30, that is 0.83, and the 3 is repeating, which would be 83.3%. So you got like a B- on that test if you got a 25. What you also want to know is round to the nearest tenth today. You want to do that. Hold on. So, now if you're given, the thing is on the notes that's to the left-hand side, I want you to be able to write it the 3 ways. Write any rational number the 3 ways. Equivalent ways. Fraction, decimal, percent. Okay, so 2/3 is 0.6 repeating, right? 2 divided by 3, 0.6 repeating. Which is, and you better know how round because you know Schoology will get mad at you if you don't, 66.7%. Right? I mean, it's 0.6 repeating, but the 6 tells the other 6 to scoot up to 7. 0.13, well, the easiest thing is to do the 13%. And then it's number over place value. 13, place value is 100. 14%, so my decimal's hanging out right here. I need to work backwards, that would be 0.14. Number over place value, 14 over 100. Do you think Schoology will let me put that in?
No.
No? Because it's so mean. It makes you simplify or it will count it wrong. 7 out of 50. I don't know what 5 over 7 is.
0.7.
Wait.
0.72.
No, it's 0.7142.
1/4. Okay. 1/4. Okay, because I go to the 10%, so I just want 3 spots. Okay, so it looks like it was a decimal, it goes on forever. So that'd be 71.4%. Okay, I don't know if it's 5 divided by 7. 5 divided by 7 is, yeah, that's good. Okay, so now I want you, on this back side, I want you to take a minute, in this first 2/3 of the page, I want you to write the equivalent rational form. Meaning, I want all 3 forms. This is the decimal, so now I need the fraction and I need the percent. 2/5 is the fraction. Now I need the decimal and I need the percent. So I want you to go through and write all of its equivalent forms. Okay, Zach, what is 0.14 as a fraction?
7 over 50.
7 over 50. Now I'm just going to connect it to how the heck did he get that? 14 over 100, number over place value, and then simplify it. And Zach, what is it as a percent?
It is 14%.
14%, yep. Looks good. Okay, Jace, what's 2/5 as a decimal?
0.4.
0.4. And what is that as a percent?
40.
40. Don't forget to add that placeholder 0. You have to go 2 spots to the right. Because 40% sure is different than 4%. Okay? Alfred, 96%. What is it as a fraction?
24 over 25.
24 over 25. Let's just connect how he got that. He simplified. It was really 96 over 100, and then he simplified that. Okay, and then I'm missing decimal. Alfred, what did you get that as a decimal?
0.96.
0.96, yeah? looks good. You just scoot it 2 spots to the left when you go backwards. Abby, for what is my fraction for 0.95? 19 over 20, just connecting that with how do you get that out first? You'd go 95 over 100, which is 19 over 20. And as a percent, 95%. In your homework today, you will need to put the percent button, okay? So I think that's on your number pad up there, but yeah, it's gonna say turn your fraction to a percent. I don't want you to just, if it's 3/5, I don't want you to write 60, because it's not 60. It's 60%, okay? So you have to write the percent button. Okay, this one's trickier. Okay, Nora, did you get this for 7?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
700%.
Nice, 700%. So to turn it to a percent, 700%, right? Because my decimal's hanging out right here. I need to move 2 spots to the right. And then what else? Well, it's like, I'm kind of missing everything here, aren't I? I mean, what is 7? Well, 7 is also 7 over 1, and it's also 7.0. So that one's kind of weird, right? And 700% is something that could be reasonable. If you think about people in business that are talking about markup or growth, if you're investing money, but let's say like they buy, let's say Ticketmaster buys tickets for $30 and they want to mark it up 700%. That seems reasonable. Now it doesn't seem reasonable if you get 700% off an item, right? Because then they'd be paying you. Like let's say something was $20 and they're like 700% off. Well, 100% off is 20. So it's like they're paying you, well, what's 600% times 20?
120.
$120. They're paying you $120 to like get an item. I'd be like, give me them all, please. I'll take them all, right? 45 as a percent would be 4,500%. I don't know how realistic that one is. That's not a big realistic one. Unless we're talking about population growth with exponential, like things that grow really fast. Fraction, 45 over 1. Decimal, help me, decimal. Oh, duh, 45.0. Totally spaced that one up. All right, for lack of time here, I want to move down to comparing. And this is more of the 7th grade level scale. You need to, when I give you rational numbers, you need to be able to compare them. So compare them. You want to turn them all to the same form. The easiest is turn them all to a percent. Percent is so easy for me to convert. In my mind. I mean, some of you might be like, well, I like changing everything to a fraction. Sweet. But then what do? You got to have a common denominator if you compare fractions. So 5%, this 0.1 is 10%. So 5% is smaller than 10%. 2/5 is 0.4, which is 40%. 40% is greater than 17.6. And you actually have to enter your inequality symbols today in your homework. You have them there on your Chromebook. You'll be just fine. Okay? And then the last, so this would be like a level 3.5, being able to compare 2 numbers. More of a level 4 is actual ordering. So you want to convert the following to the same form. And remember, percents are always the easiest to work with. But when you put them back, it has to be the way they gave it to you. You can't just put it the way you changed it. So 4/9 is 0.4 repeating, which would be like 44.4%. 0.22 would be 22%. 3 3/5 is 3.6, which is 360%. Again, I just know this off the top of my head. You can use a calculator to help you convert this if you don't know. 2% is already percent. This would be 212%, moving 2 spots to the right. And 0.03%, man, that's a small percent. So that's it. And then you go from small to big. So my smallest would be that 0.03%, followed by my 2%, followed by 22%. Now 22% they gave me as a